Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hudson TV19. I'm your host, Saulo Diaz, and tonight we have a special episode for you guys, so I hope you enjoy. We're here today with Ricardo Bacallao. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, well, tonight we just had a special event. Ricardo Bacallao came here to the William Mustel Center located in Union City, New Jersey, where he showcased two of his, most objective films that he's come out with before. And Ricardo, just for the viewers, in case they haven't heard about you before, could you just give us a little background, tell us about yourself, where you come from, who you are?
Well, I am Cuban American right now, and I have been, you can say, around the world. I was living in Germany, I was living in Singapore. I am a filmmaker. I made my master in NYU in film, but also I studied in Cuba film, so I love film. So I have been I was living also in Spain, so I have been around, tried to make documentaries and narrative films. So, yeah.
Now, you specify in documentary only, or you do all kinds of film?
No, actually, documentary was more easy because I was living in Cuba, and so can you imagine that it's totally difficult to make a film in Cuba?
Yeah.
And that time it was more easy to make documentary. So sometimes for make documentary only you need a man. A person, you, with the camera. So in that way, it was more easy for me to make documentary. But right now, I'm doing more fiction, narrative film.
Like as in drama, stuff like that?
I have been trying to explore every genre.
Nice. Okay.
Comedy, dark comedy, drama, yeah. Right now, I almost finished it. I am in post-production on my first feature film.
Your first feature film?
Yeah, my first feature film was my thesis from NYU.
Okay.
So I'm totally happy with that.
And what genre is that one in your feature?
This is a thriller.
Oh, it's a thriller.
Yeah, it's a thriller.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have been doing also in the past and continue making documentary. Also teaching, giving workshop about documentaries. So documentary is something that I love. I would like to, if you are a filmmaker, you should make films. So no matter what, this is documentary or a narrative film.
Yeah, I read a quote like that once that said, if you want to be a filmmaker, just grab the camera and, just make film. Yeah, don't question it too much. Just get out there.
Exactly. For me, I love film. Right now, I try to do everything. What I can, and also,
what you have, yeah.
yeah,
I understand that. The show in itself is an example. Now, when did you leave Cuba? You told me you went to Germany. I believe you once told me you went to Singapore as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's totally correct. I left Cuba in 2003 to Germany, and then I went to Spain. Then I came back to Germany, and then 3 universities from the United States, invited me to come here and show my film around. Oh, wow. So then,
is that one of the ones we saw tonight, or?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like a politician around universities, talking with the same topic, showed my films. And it was pretty interesting, but I love also narrative film, so I decided to be more involved in narrative film. So I did the NYU master.
Okay, and
then I went to Singapore for that reason.
Okay, to study.
Yeah, study. Yeah.
And your trip from Cuba to Germany was also from Cuba?
Yeah.
Or were you just like exploring?
No, was a exchange like artist. Was like artist. No explore. There was that time in Cuba was totally difficult to. Still a problem to go out Cuba, but and that time was a pretty big problem.
Yeah. Now, Have they seen this stuff in Cuba? The stuff we've seen tonight?
And no,
No.
but the people know about the film, about the documentary. It's pretty weird. In Cuba, you can read a review
Yeah.
about a documentary or film, but nobody saw.
Yeah.
Or it's not
Yeah.
show officially. So that happened. So I got a review in magazine about hip hop in Cuba,
Right.
but I didn't show the film. I think I'm never going to do this. It's too polemic for them.
Okay. Too political in a sense,
Yeah,
like.
it's more because it's about the black people in Cuba from the point of view of hip hop.
Wow.
So it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I don't have any hope that they're going to see officially.
Wow. And what kind of would you like name? What kind of filmmakers or maybe movies inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Well, that's the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
Actually, right now, I don't have any specific filmmaker. But I remember in Cuba, we used to watch a lot of film from Europe, from the Soviet Union, so from here. The classic also, I remember we tried to, what is the best film? Citizen Kane or this kind of film, But right now, I think it's like a classic. You study a classic for the Soviet from the beginning of the 20s, the revolution that they did in film. That was a big influence in many countries.
Yeah.
And from here. So I think it's a mix. I don't have right now,
Specific
I
one, yeah,
remember there was a bit impact when I knew about Spike Lee, for example, because I was, wow, this is a black filmmaker and doing this kind of, but not anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that was a moment. That was a very interesting moment, but not anymore. So I don't have any specific director right now. I got amazing professors, but something, for example, Oliver Stone was my professor in film, like director. But I can see that right now is not so strong that he used to be, for example. So, but he made amazing films.
Yeah.
So I totally respect that.
In terms of messaging, you're saying not as strong as he used to be.
Stylistic, everything,
Yeah. And bringing up, just since we were talking about Cuba, right, the censorship, how hard was it for you to be a filmmaker there? Like, what did your family think when you're like, I want to make films for a living? And, they must be afraid of the censorship that's going on in Cuba. So were you like told, stay away from it at any point?
Well, this is an interesting question. I remember for my mother was like, I think the challenge was so strong.
Yeah.
And the family, we were like, wow, this is going to be interesting. Try. But my brother I have one brother, he's engineer, agronomy engineer. Another brother is mathematician.
Wow.
So another brother is a writer. I tried to do something different.
You're the artistic one.
But this was, in my case, that was interesting for me trying to study film in Cuba. This is a career, like in everywhere.
They teach film in Cuba, right?
They teach film in Cuba, but it's very elite. You need to belong to elite to go to this school. I remember in my class, a professor came to me and say, "Hey, let me tell you something. I have been here for 10 years, and you are the first black person here.
Wow.
Try to study film a director. He said, well, really? I said, yes. So I remember that I came back, returned home, and I said to my brother, hey, you know what they say? My brother said, oh, you want to see black people? Go to the store where they selling fruit. You know?
Oh my God,
So, yeah,
that's terrible.
yeah, well, that's my memories about that.
But
What to say about my family?
now, did you know it was a big deal you being dark skinned? Because young people were not thinking black and white. You being dark skinned. Did you know it was going to be such a big deal when you went into film school? Like, oh, whoa, like, what's this guy doing?
Sounds so good. Yes, pretty good to director. Oh, you're a director. I remember my classmate in Cuba used to use that to get some girls around.
Oh wow! Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, you're a director, but I never. I swear, I never tried to sell that that way. I think for me, the point is film or movies or documentaries. Everything I try to do is looking for something more.
Okay.
Yeah, this is more. It's not about film. It's more about to understand the human being.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for.
Right.
To understand more of what it's about.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that is what I try to do.
Yeah, you definitely see that in this film, especially the first one, which is called Radiology of Hip Hop in Cuba.
Radiography of hip hop in Cuba. Yes.
Yes. Now that was done in 2001, I believe. Or
So that was in 2004.
2004. Okay.
Yeah, I caught it in Germany. I was living in Germany when I finished that.
Okay.
So
Is there a reason you waited till Germany, or that's just when it happened?
Yeah, it's a good question. The place that many Cubans love to go
Right.
is a place for me, because at that time I remember there was in love with a Cuban writer, and she said, you know what, I'm going to Germany, and I asked her, hey, let me go with you. He said, yeah, okay, come.
Why not?
And that was so because I was a artist, was more easy to go out.
Right.
Yeah, like with the passport, say, artist is somebody invite you. At that time, it was more easy to go out.
Wow.
And I remember that I had a little money because I tried to make my first feature film at that time.
Okay.
And that was a disaster where I kept some money in my pocket, and so it was okay,
Yeah. At least you kept going. You didn't give up after the first fall.
Yeah.
But specifically on the hip hop movie, like me, I've heard of hip hop culture, of course, being in New Jersey, but I've never heard of Cuban hip hop until I saw your movie, and then I heard you mention that you were actually, I don't know, the only, but at least the first movie that ever documented Cuban hip hop.
Yeah, I never knew that until somebody said, you are the first.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Someone just told you, hey, guess what? You're the first one. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
the first one, because normally it was Americans or Europeans that they went to Cuba and made their films,
Yeah.
documentaries. So for Cuba, it was tricky to do something like that.
Wow.
So I remember to get access to the camera, to finish. So, and at that time, I was looking to do a documentary about the black people in Cuba, and hip hop was a good, we can say, excuse.
Right.
To do something about that. That was pretty strong. So I was lucky, so I did. I still, this documentary, many universities try to still buying the DVD. This is combined with still buying the DVD. They made seminar about the topic. It's about black people in Cuba, but from the point of view of hip hop. So that works.
So hip hop was kind of the excuse for the overall message of that
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. That was for me was trying to do something about black people in Cuba because not many people. I think Gloria Rolando is another director. She tried to do the same topic in different point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was it's a few. You know, this not many people can do that.
Okay, and did the people in this movie see the movie? I know you told me no one in Cuba's seen it, but
Well, yes, they watched it. Yeah,
and what was their how did they receive it? Like
pretty well. I came back to Cuba last year, but before also I met some of them. There was, they say that was a big impact. They somebody having screening in the school, universities. That's some places that is not official or is official, but it's not public. It's more a limited public.
yeah,
That you can control everything there.
Wow. And hip hop here, at least in United States, became kind of commercialized. Now that you went back over there, how has hip hop in Cuba evolved?
Well, sadly, is not anymore that this used to be, right?
It's not the same. Right?
No, it's not the same. It's more reggaeton.
Okay.
So I think the Cuban government always has been very smart. So reggaeton is something that the people like to dance. It's more easy. The message is very light.
Very, very light. Yeah.
Yeah, and the hip hop, the rap.
Yeah.
Is a rap.
Yeah.
It's something that's to hit.
It's like poetry.
Yeah. And the control. So it's completely. It's not anymore the movement that used to be. So the government first they try to make the collaboration with the movement, then
at the government directly,
take over, and then directly to die.
Censored right away.
Yeah,
wow.
This is how it works.
And were you a fan of the whole movement, or part of it at the same time?
Well, that time was coincident with my ex. She used to be a poet.
Okay.
And used to be also editor of the magazine. She tried to do a magazine, the first magazine of hip hop in Cuba, the name Movement. I used to have friends that they were rappers.
Okay.
So I knew many of them. I think the reason is the reason that you watch, without you did. Well, any person that watched the documentary think, wow, this is very honest.
Yes.
The people talking very honest. First, I am Cuban. Second, I were very close of them. So it's no, they can no lying to me.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty direct. And the second film, I imagine.
The Magi readings.
Yeah, the Magi readings. You did that while you were in Germany, of course.
Yeah.
And seems like they have kind of a similar message. Is that intentional?
Oh, at some point, yes.
Yeah,
at some point. Well, I was living in Germany and Berlin, and the situation we can say is different, but the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same undertone.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very interesting that I say there was a bit protest, was curious to learn more about the German society, how the German society works with the other.
Yeah, how'd you come up with the idea? Like, this is a topic I'm going to do while here in Germany.
It's this project is done, right? This documentary is done, but that means that I have been trying to do 10 more projects, but never happened.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was part of the bigger project. That was a part of the segment.
So that was a small part of something.
Yeah,
bigger.
exactly.
Okay.
Something bigger, and that was more easy because I was like thinking how to make it. Then I got the opportunity. I was completely smooth.
And how was that film received by either the people in it or anyone in Germany that saw it?
Well, it's first of all they learn a lot about that.
Yeah, I learned a lot too. Yeah,
A lot about that was that is the Afro-German community over there. The history of the Afro community in Germany. So they learn a lot. And here, so with this documentary, they made seminars in Tennessee, University of Tennessee.
Wow, they made seminars. Are both films?
Yeah. Well, I think the topic of the German, Afro-German, is a little new. So there are many people trying to make, PhD in that topic right now. I'm basing my film to help them.
Yeah, like your film showed me 2 topics I never heard about before. I didn't know about hip hop in Cuba, and I didn't know about the Afro-Germans. I didn't even know that, Germany had that whole East in Africa.
Yeah, they were colonized. The people, when they think about Germany, like first war, the Second World War.
Yeah, that's the first thing everyone thinks. So
the Nazi. But there was, they were bad before too. So there was a guy, Lothar von Trotha, for example, that was an assassin. In the war, the Mayu War was in 1905 to 1907, the genocide of the Herreros. So that's a lot, the German troops, they did horrible things in Africa. So there are a lot of the history and the stories about that we can do many things.
And being that I saw these 2 documentaries, I also saw your the one film before, which was more of a fictional. The documentaries seem to reveal stuff to the audience that not the average person would know. Certainly not something that we see in history books. Is that something that also happens to the fictional movies, or is that more entertainment?
Well, this is for me, documentary is sometimes I use like essay. I try to do one essay. I don't want to write. I made a documentary.
Right, very nice.
And for fiction, I try to keep in 2 levels, more than 2 levels, but specifically 2 levels. One more to be more entertained. And so some audience. Another one for me to to keep some plot that I want to talk about. So it's like we can say poison. A little poison. This is. I think I respect the public also. I don't want the intelligence of the audience. So I don't. But also to watch something that is. When I say entertaining, is something that is something interesting.
Entertaining and meaningful, yeah,
exactly.
Definitely, I can see that. And what's next? What are you working on next? I know you told me the thriller, but when is that going to be out? Are you shooting anything?
Right now, the feature film, the thriller, is coming along pretty good. I have been screening many film festivals, in universities. Got the feedback with the student or professor, people that they are not Cuban, and to know how they react. In that way, I have been improving the film. But also, I just finished a short film, Christmas Therapy. It's a very long short film. It's 27 minutes. So I hope to show in the festival. It's coming now here. No.
Oh, great, nice. Can't wait to see that. And just last question. I was really interested in this. I read something that your nickname is the Cuban Woody Allen. Could you explain that for us?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because my wife is younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Maybe, I love film. I like to keep going and make films. And try to do I don't. Something that criticizes me is that I try to make film and no make one and show the film. It's like a kind of director that like to make film and continue making film and making film. You know, only one and look, you know, I stop and so I go like to exercise my mind, training my arm.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on Hudson TV19. It's a pleasure.
This is my pleasure.
And I really enjoyed the movies tonight. I look forward for your next one.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.